Well, Coach Evan, it's good to hang out with you, man. I'm glad you came out today, and one of my goals in life, period. I mean, we've been extremely blessed. I mean, I've been running a company for over 20 years now, but the best part about it is that I've been able to run a business that runs on its own. And ultimately, I mean, I know you're in the grind right now. You're hunting for new people. You're trying to find new people and everything. But I really have a desire to help people succeed and help people do better. And so maybe in the next few minutes we can figure out a way where I can maybe take some of your information and say, all right, man, maybe if you tweak it this way or you do a little bit of this or whatever, maybe, we can start making some progress for you.
Yeah, for me, I've gotten to the point where, I have a brand and I really want to make sure the brand does well. But, business-wise, I've learned that I'm not trying to chase money. I want to make sure that the brand and the product that's put out there is foremost before the money. And if I do that, I know the money will come. And I think one of the things I want to definitely learn from you is how to brand and how to expand the brand and, do it in a positive way to where you bring back the right type of customers as well.
Exactly.
Business-wise, I have a lot to learn, and I see that you've done very well. And I know that you have a lot that you can teach me, so I'm looking forward to it.
So, when you think about the most important things to you that, why do you think that, right now you haven't taken your business to the next level? What do you think some of the things that you might have done or challenges there? What would you say?
Understanding the business side of it. I think I have a very good understanding of the product, but not how to push the product.
Right.
I'm learning little stuff about social media, certain ways to push it on social media. For example, when I first started doing videos, I used to just pump out every video, 1,000 videos a day. I started to learn that the content and making sure they understand the content and bundling up the content so it puts out one video that kind of gives an illustration of all the 1,000 videos I just put out, putting one together that illustrates all of them. So, learning a smarter way of business. I think for me, I have to, like I said, learn how to expose the brand rather than just push the brand out there. You know what I mean? Get people to see it and notice it and want to follow it rather than just throw it out there at anyone.
Right.
Kind of I would say it's like they have this silly putty. It's like throwing silly putty at the wall, hoping it sticks.
Right.
Rather than do that, I want to make sure I have a darkness going into every time it goes in the wall. It's making a dent in the wall, and it's, and I can always know that it's going to be stuck there and it's staying there rather than hoping that it sticks, and if it doesn't stick, it just falls off, and then I throw another one hoping it sticks.
And I think that's probably the way most of us think in the beginning, is we think in terms of we say, because look, it's human nature to want things to be perfect, and it's human nature to get frustrated when things don't happen fast enough. It's just human nature.
Yeah.
I mean, that is that's inbred in us. I think DNA, and I think that's a lot of challenges with people that start things and then they stop things, is because they're not getting results fast enough. So the one thing I would say, first and foremost is maybe with what you just said, we're going to tweak that a little bit in the sense that I'd rather you try things 1,000 times and succeed 100 times than to try 100 times and succeed 10 times. You know what I mean? Because the other route, you succeeded 10 times more. So everything you're doing, we got to be thinking, look, I'm not worried about failure. I'm not worried about it not looking right. I'm not worried about it not being perfect every time.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, and this is a big reason why I think people have challenges, especially on social media, is they're trying to put together the perfect, precise thing every single time.
Yeah.
When it's not. I mean, it's not going to be. And so I literally try to post 6 to 10 times a day. So if I'm posting 6 to 10 times a day, then that's a lot of posts every single year. That's thousands of posts every single, or at least 6 times, a couple thousand posts a year. people are going to start noticing who you are. You post a couple thousand times a year. Now, are there going to be people that say, I don't like that he posts so much, and that I think that it's irritating or annoying that he posts so much?
Some of those.
Yeah, you've gotten those. But you know what's funny? Is those people aren't your market anyways.
Yeah,
those people don't love soccer. You know the people that love, the people that are gonna follow you, those are the people that love soccer.
Yeah, they want to see it.
They're like, oh my God, they're waiting for you to post another one after the last one you just posted, because they're freaking so psychotic about soccer.
Yeah.
So I would that would be just the first little thing on as far as how we're gonna tweak this. And you know, hopefully that makes sense a little bit. So
no,
I
it
would
does.
go big. I would go big, man.
It's funny. I teach some of the kids who are trying to come in and coach with me, and I'm like, listen, the way I got to this point was continuous work. And there's so many days where I'm like, should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? And now that I'm here where I'm at, no, I've gotten a little further, but where I'm at, it's like, I'm so glad that I continue doing it. So now that you said that, it makes sense, because again, for me to get from point A to point B, it was just like you said, continuous work, thousands of posts.
That's it.
Out there every day. So no, it makes sense. I guess as I try to get the brand bigger, I didn't realize that doing the same thing that I've done will help me. I feel like I have to make changes sometimes. You know?
Well, and you do. I mean, you mix it up. I mean, sometimes you put, I think probably another little piece of advice that I would give you is try to mix things up too, though. Like don't just post the kids playing, or don't just post you playing. Post, you know, I noticed you sent something out the other day about you were at a soccer game, and you know, you were excited about watching this soccer game. So it was fun to see reality. It was fun to see you behind the scenes. It was fun to see you just being you. You know, it's like people want to know who you are, and the more that you can connect with that audience, the more you're going to be able to build that brand. Like for example, when somebody sends you a comment, right? Always respond back to that comment, because the comment is what connects you with the people that really care about you, or they care about what you're doing, because they're the only ones out of the hundreds or thousands of people you have, they're the only ones that took the time to actually comment. So they actually care about what you're talking about. Like, you know, the truth is that in any sort of business that you're building or trying to grow, you're going to notice that controversy is what will drive your brand even faster. Don't feel like you're trying to appease anyone, right? I mean, if you're making content thinking about upsetting someone, then you're making fake content, I think. You know what I mean? Like, now, again, you don't have to disrupt everybody in the world, but I'm saying that, like, don't be afraid if you're posting something, you're like, I don't know if I should post that. Post it, man. Who cares? Oh, I didn't say the right word, or I stuttered, or I whatever. Freaking post it. Who cares? They know. At least everybody knows you're a human being and you're normal, and
that you think that definitely helps drive the business.
Well, yeah, because it gives you a connection with the people. See, people want to know you, and once they know you, see, look, the reason why people are gonna be on your team and want to follow you on your team is because they like you. See, people follow people they like. I mean, it's crazy, man. I don't even care if you have an expensive, product, right? Even if your product is more expensive, and don't always go just on price. It's based on value of what you're providing. So, but if you're thinking like, look, if I'm going to drive my brand and I'm going to worry about those people that don't get it, they're the wrong audience, right? So go based on, you know, the way you feel and who you are, because once you get that connection, man, they'll follow you to the freaking moon.
Now, do you think that one of the things I struggle with is, like, personally, so anything that I did in the beginning was never me, you know what I mean? Because I just felt like no one cares about me. They want to see the kids. Or I also felt like once people knew me, then I would lose audience. And so kind of what you're saying is more so, I feel like it's more so saying, show the people who you are, connect with them, because that's, that's one thing I've been afraid of. Like, I stay out of the camera. Lately, I've been like, even sometimes when I see myself on camera, I'm like, I should have done that. Like, people aren't going to want to see me. They want to see the kids. I kind of get what you're saying.
And I think too, I mean, because I believe a lot in leadership. Part of the process, part of everything that I do is about building a process.
Okay.
So like one of the things that you're gonna do, like as homework, is you're gonna really sit down and dial in your process. Like for example, the first step when somebody comes into your system or whatever, you know what I mean? What's that first step? What would you say? What's one of those
like
steps?
coming into training?
Yeah,
so the
coming
first
into
step is
training.
to establish where their skill level is.
There you go.
Touches, balance, juggling, something like that.
Okay, perfect. So that gives you kind of an idea. You're gonna start writing, like in writing, start writing down a process. And then after a couple of months, when you dial this thing in, you're gonna be able to see there's a very clear, defined process that you own. It's yours, man.
Okay.
Now, you got that information from the greats, but
Kind of like
that's
curriculum.
Yeah, that's your curriculum. You have it in writing, and that process is what we're gonna try to replicate as easily as possible. So that way, when you're not there, you can have somebody go over that curriculum, right? So early on in my business, when my business exploded, is when I put everything down in writing. So I put everything down in writing, and I built the process. So it's actually called The Process. So Daniel Alonzo, The Process, how to build a world-class business. And so what it's allowed me is it's allowed me to gain freedom. It's allowed me to make not only a lot of money, because I've replicated that system. Like, look, in your business, it's just you. You're the coach. You know what I mean? But if you're ever gonna get this bigger, you have to be able to get other people involved in that dream, right? The dream of maybe one day you having your own club, like actual organization, soccer organization or facility or whatever, but you're not going to be able to do that all by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's one of the areas I struggled in was in the first few years, I always tried to do everything alone.
Exactly,
I realized
exactly.
you can only get this far on your own.
That's it.
And then as I brought people in, I was just telling you, I had a kid who I've coached since 13 to 18. Played in Mexico, came back, now he's coaching, and I was trying to get him into coaching. He was going to be probably the first coach of my company, but things didn't work out. I would say responsibility-wise, he didn't show me what I needed. But talking with you now, maybe I just needed to really set the curriculum so he understood it, and kind of like you said, gives them something to a basis and a foundation. So it's like if you have this curriculum, even with something like being on time, it's
That's
first. If I say for coaches, the curriculum first thing is being on time. He knows no matter what, because that was one of the things. Like he showed up all, he's always late.
So it's setting the standards high, and knowing that your job, why you're doing it, like why is it that we're trying to build a process, is so we can duplicate leaders, so you can duplicate other people that are just like you. You know what I mean? And then what we'll do eventually, what we can do is after we build the actual process, then we're going to record it, right? You'll put everything on recording. You'll put it all on YouTube. You'll put it all in a course. You'll put it all in whatever. So that way you can duplicate that. That's what I did. I have DVDs. I have CDs. I mean, I have, me sitting at a kitchen table doing a presentation with a client.
Yeah.
So that every one of my agents, they can exactly see, like right now, me and you are having a conversation. Somebody in the world right now has got a Daniel Alonzo DVD in their TV right now, watching me on their couch right now, taking notes. Hopefully they're taking notes, watching me, right? And so what that's allowed me, it's allowed me freedom.
Yeah.
So I love that you love what you do, but you're not going to be able to sustain it forever. You're not going to, everybody wants to grind, but you can't. It's not sustainable for the rest of your life. Every single human being, I don't care how hard you work, you need time off. You need to be able to relax on the beach if you want to, right? But how cool is that? Right? Wouldn't it be nice to have wealth on the beach, right? I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have have enough money coming in? You could do whatever you want. Maybe you don't like the beach, it doesn't really matter. You could do whatever you want. What is it that you like to do? Where do you like to take your kids? Where do you like to whatever? those are the type of things I want you to think about, because the whole reason, to me, I mean, well, what helped me early on is I wrote down 150 goals for a lifetime.
Okay.
So I wrote down every goal that I had, and I would recommend you do the same thing. So that way you're very clear about why you're doing what you're doing, because it's going to be a lot of work putting together systems.
No. I don't mean to cut
Yeah,
you
no,
off.
no.
When you wrote down those 150 goals, did you once you accomplished them, do you cross them off?
Crossed them off. Yep, man.
Now, if you hit those 150 how old are you? I'm sorry.
I'm 43.
43. So if you hit those at 45, do you set another 150?
Well, I'm always actually, believe it or not, I'm always adding to that. So I actually started with 150. There might be 250 now.
Okay.
So through the years, like I just like, hey, I'm gonna go check out those goals, see which ones I accomplished, and then I'll go back and I'll add more if I need to.
I mean, just so far, you definitely helped me out, because one of the things you just said is how you said the process will help duplicate me. Well, the biggest problem I'm having, and the reason I don't trust anyone with my product, is because no one's me.
That's it.
And no one's gonna understand it like I do.
That's
Anytime I brought a coach in, they just haven't given what I've given.
Absolutely.
I've had like 7 buddies that I brought in as coaches, and they're not me, and so I've struggled.
Well, that's the key word right now. They were buddies of yours. You don't want to hire buddies. What you want to hire is somebody that loves soccer like you do.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, as well as in my business, I mean, we recruit lots and lots of people that don't ever make it. And but I never get frustrated, right? Because to me, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
So like you hired, so probably one of your challenges right now is that you've hired 7 didn't work out. So then you said, well, they didn't work out, so be it. I'll just do it myself. There's a book called, I think his last name's Gerber, and he wrote a book called The E-Myth. And it's entrepreneurs, because you're an entrepreneur. I mean, you're a business owner. You run a club soccer team. And so, but he talked about how most entrepreneurs, the biggest challenge that they have is relinquishing responsibilities, because they do it better themselves. Why am I going to tell that guy to go do it when I can do it better myself? Well, the whole reason why you're going to tell that guy to go do it is because you're trying to duplicate a process. You're trying to duplicate your habits. The things like your leadership, showing up on time, doing what you say you're going to do, being a person of your word, and of course following a standard curriculum that's just all day long. I mean, think about every great company in the world. McDonald's, great system. Starbucks, everything is systematized. Their cups have little lines on them to tell the workers exactly where to pour the coffee. Exactly the little ice trays that they scoop the ice with. It's perfectly measured, so they give away the same amount of ice every single time. Everything's measured. Everything's precise. So that way, there's less mistakes that'll happen. Mistakes are still going to happen. Yeah. Who cares? If somebody's doing what they're supposed to do and following an actual set of guidelines, the replication becomes a lot faster, I think, and versus you just winging it or just telling them when to do it and
doing what you want,
or just you just tell him what you want to do, and he's like, okay, I got it this first time, but next week he forgets what you told him to do, but you think that he's going to remember, but he doesn't remember. So like in my business, I'm not kidding. I mean, now I'm not saying necessarily you have to do this in your business, but I mean, I've been running Saturday training meetings every Saturday for 20 years. Okay, so I show up to my office for 20 years. And every single Saturday, I tell these guys how to do the process, how to follow the process. The same. Well, I mean, we mix it up a lot. I mean, we teach different stuff all the time.
Go over the same process,
but it's basically the same stuff. I'm saying them maybe in different ways sometimes, but mainly it's the same thing. We're talking about showing up and bringing people and setting up appointments and becoming a client and getting your partner involved. No, just over and over. Like, see, the boring stuff makes you rich. Yeah. The boring things make you successful in life. So whatever you can set it, whatever kind of system that you can set up and then make it boring, then you just know you're on the right track.
Yeah, it's kind of in soccer. I tell the kids with training, the boring stuff is what makes you good.
That's it. It's the same thing.
Doing
it's the
stupid,
same
boring
thing.
stuff over and over, that's where you get good. The tricks and stuff, you don't learn as much there. It's
Right.
fun,
Right.
but the boring stuff is what's give you the foundation.
Absolutely,
So,
man,
I understand
absolutely.
that.
So okay, so it's the process. So you're going to put together a process. You're going to make sure that that we develop systems. So once you put together that process, you're going to develop a system so that we can replicate it. Okay. So I recommend you have some sort of manual that's duplicated. I think you should have a manual even for your players.
Yeah.
You should have a little short booklet manual.
See, I give them, like, I have the rules of possession,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never gotten to the point where actually with my boys, I had them write it down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just me not being a good leader. So I had to write it down, and then the next week I'm like, hey, everyone bring it back.
Right.
Maybe like, I say 7 out of 10 kids. So I was proud, but it was only 7 of the 10. So I think right then I should have really reiterated it and made it kind of like what you said every Saturday.
Well, I mean, if they don't bring their book, you make them run a lap.
Yeah.
So you know that they're going to bring a book every week because you're going to make them run a lap if they don't, or an extra lap or whatever. So maybe you do something like that, or you go the other route and you go, all right, man, if you bring it for 5 weeks in a row, we're going to give you a prize or something, or you get an ice cream cone or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're because you do as as far as leadership principles, as you become a better leader, you want to start offering rewards and offering, every month you should have some sort of incentive to kind of get people to want to follow through on the things that you're asking them to follow through. I mean, if you might, so incentives are very, very powerful when you're trying to build teams. And then of course with your, if you start down the road, building other leaders that come on board with you, then those people, you should try to build in incentives for those guys as well. So if you have 2 coaches, you're like, hey coach, if I'm not going to be here this weekend, so I need you to take over. If we win this weekend, man, I'm buying you lunch or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're always trying to reward people for the things that they're doing right.
Yes.
It's called pushing up people. You're always pushing up people, always trying to make them feel good, always trying to give them that encouragement. Now, granted, your team players, the actual people on the team, you're going to have to be tough with them.
Yeah.
But you do the same thing with them. You're always giving them, congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
You're always telling them, great job. Man, that was a great kick, man. That was an awesome pass.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of always doing that.
My best coach, one of the reasons I respect him so much is because even a lot of us and there's some of my friends that are at high levels, professionals right now, is he broke us down so much, but after he broke us down, he always built us up.
That's it.
His words would cut us in half. But then right afterwards, he would still build us up. And that, I have the highest respect for him because of that. And it wasn't the things he did, it's the things he said and how he made us feel, when we did good and when we did bad.
Right.
And one of the important things is, the reason I definitely want to sit down with you is because not just business-wise, no matter what, as a coach, I'm building leaders, no matter what. And I have to, as I start to realize that, not just with my daughter, and this is, again, you take Ball Master, you take the private training out the business, no matter what, I'm coaching, and I had to stop looking at myself as a coach, but also as a leader. I'm a mentor, I'm a teacher. So I have,
leadership is everything, man.
Yeah,
I mean, every great organization, every great endeavor has to be led by a good leader. And
I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say, I wanted to make sure you understood that. I didn't want to get with you so I can say, hey, teach me how to make money. I wanted to get with you because ultimately I have, with my girls team, I have 15 girls I'm their leader. With my boys team, I have 18 boys where I'm their leader. With the girls, same thing, but with the boys going into college now, soon into college, it's so important that I pass leadership skills on to them and not just say, oh, I coached him. It's like I just said, the coaches who are important in my life, they taught me how to be a leader, how to be happy with myself. Right. And so as I have these boys, it's important that they go into college knowing that they are leaders and again, the leadership skills and the teamwork skills I have to teach them is so important, other than just the business. Because again, being a good leader and making money is fine, but I also have 30 or 40 kids who follow me, and if they become good leaders, now my daughter has someone to look up to, things like that.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to make sure you knew that. Yeah, it wasn't just about, hey, how do I make money from my business?
Well, I mean, but the truth is, I mean, just to maybe hit on the point of the money thing is because I'm a big law of attraction guy. I'm a big, I believe that whatever you think about, you become about. Whatever you think about with intensity and purpose and courage will ultimately become your reality. And the truth is that you, just like me and just like most people that would ever, want to be successful at something, because the truth is you want to be successful at it, but you're also, you still need to take care of your family, and you have to make money. I mean, so what I was basically getting at is that, look, every time you say that money doesn't matter, believe it or not, money is becoming less of a matter.
Okay.
So to me, I know it feels, sometimes you feel like, that's greedy, or I don't want. No. If you provide value for people, they will pay you. I mean, I make, $100 grand a month without getting out of bed. You know what I mean? And the reason why that is because I provided so much value through those first, few years of building an organization that I overworked. I mean, I was up late at night making videos when I would come home. Not videos, but I would record myself on the computer, so that way, or I would record myself so then I could take the words and I would type them. I never had a transcriber. I had no money. I mean, I was just kind of newer in the business. But I would transcribe all of the words so that I could build a book, so I could build a manual, a guide, and then I went out and I remember me and Karma sitting in our little 1,200 square foot condo, and we had no money, and I remember sitting there and pressing. I had one of those big tape recorders. It was a huge tape recorder, and I pressed record, and I did the presentation with Karma, and so that way I could duplicate that out. So I went down, found a guy that duplicated a bunch of tapes real fast, and I paid him a bunch of money, and then I went and I sold them to my guys. And I got them to buy these little tape cassettes. So what happened? They now knew what I was doing. But all these people, they see the tape and they're like, yeah, the tape's there, cool, whatever, $2 I think I charged them for the tape or whatever. And I didn't make any money on the tapes per se. It was, I made money because I got them competent. I got them confident. So money is something that we all need. And in my opinion, you should, switch, just little, switch it up a little bit and start saying, no, I deserve to make a lot of money. I'm supposed to make a lot of money. You're a great soccer coach. You're an amazing soccer coach. You deserve to be paid for your efforts. The challenge that I think that you have more than anything is the fact that you're only one person, right? So if you're going to ever build massive passive income, it's going to be through duplicating yourself with other people that can do what you do. Okay. And to me, I mean, again, I know you do it, you enjoy it, and it's fun and all that kind of stuff, but to me, if you're going to do something and you're going to give your heart and soul to it, who cares if you make a shitload of money, man? I mean, to me, you deserve to make a shitload of money for doing that. Yeah. And because, look, coaches make a big difference in kids' lives, man. I mean, coaches are the people that help people have better lives. I mean, I'm in business, and my guys still call me coach. I mean, believe it or not, they call me coach because I want to be called coach. I respect coaches. Coaches are people that they could take a child and totally hurt them. You know what I mean? They could totally mess them up, or they could totally change their life. Yeah. So to me, I'm all about, man, if I can change some lives and make a difference, then you deserve to be compensated fairly for that, and you do too. So anyways, that's so the last kind of thing that or one of the things that I think is critically important long range as you're building your company out, because we're gonna build a process. We got it down, man. We know now what our outline is. We got our little manual, and it doesn't have to be big. It could be a tiny, a little 10-page, 20-page manual or something. Maybe put some pictures in there of how to kick a ball right, or put some whatever, or you put some links in there, like as they're reading, you're explaining how to do it. You're explaining how to kick something, but then you're also have a link to a YouTube channel that they can plug in, or you just tell them, hey, go to this playlist. This playlist has everything to do with just kicking. Or just offense. This playlist is everything defense. This playlist is everything on how to think mentally, right? Maybe you have a playlist on how to think mentally. When you get down, I mean, come on, you're coaching a bunch of little girls, man. I mean, they get all dramatized and hurt and down and, you know, and sad, and you see tears and stuff like that. So look, dude, you could do some videos on how to think the right way. Doesn't mean you have to do all the videos, but maybe you can search out really cool videos, just add them to your playlist. How to think right, how to be you know, more mentally tough, how to gain mentality, right? That toughness, you know, right? You find some really successful women soccer players, and they talk about mental toughness. They talk about how to do what they do. And look, when you have like, you know, like we've gotten together at the house before and you play videos of the game and stuff. Those are great. But maybe you start off the night with playing a video, a 10-minute video from some superstar, super soccer star lady, and you play her for the girls. And you because look, in my opinion, any business is an inspiration business. People do things because they're inspired to do something. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're not inspired to play soccer, then you're not going to play soccer. You know what I mean? If you're not inspired to do anything, you're not going to do it. So I always thought about, like, when people ask me, they're like, all right, Daniel, what kind of business are you in? Truthfully, I am in the inspiration business. That's the business that I'm in. The more that I can inspire people to want to do what I do, the more that people. That's why you got to win games. See, if your team sucks, I'm not inspired to bring my daughter to your team. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, I got up every single day, and I worked my living ass off. I mean, I worked my tail because I wanted to get a lot of results. The more results I got, so I was thinking in terms of like inspiring people. If I got results, people are inspired. They're like, I want to go work with Daniel. Right? You want to attract the best players? Then you freaking inspire the heck out of those kids. You know, and there's a lot of ways to do that. And it's not just, I mean, you got to win games, of course. But, you know, sometimes you can't control that because you have certain players come on, right? So you can't, but maybe once a week you send out a little inspiring message. You post it on YouTube and you send the link to your girls. Like you send out an inspiring message, or you could send out inspiring messages to parents and stuff like that, where parents get inspired just by you. You're like, hey parents, just want to let you know, man, this is where we're at right now. You could just record it on your phone and send them a little message and let the parents know that you're freaking jacked up and excited and the girls are doing well and this is where we're going. Because sometimes people get inspired just based on where we're going, not necessarily what we've done or where we're at. They get inspired, and that's really what's called vision. So that's kind of the last little piece that you have to constantly be painting the picture and selling the vision for people.
So that they know.
They got to know that because that's why people are going to instinctually follow you, okay? Instinctively follow you is because they are inspired by your vision. Like if you're with a bunch of parents, right? Like every game, by the way, okay? This is what I used to do, right? When I was building my business, I would have my little team of agents, right? My recruits, and they would be in the room and the meeting would be over and I would get them in the back of the room. And I'd say, all right, guys, come on, man, let's go. Let's round up here. I need to talk to you real quick. 10 of them, there was 5 or 10 of us. And then I would sell the dream like crazy. Right? I would tell them like, look, this is what we're going to do. This is where we're going. It's going to be amazing, man. You watch. All right. So what's your goal this month? What's your goal this month? What do you got goal? What's your goal? What's your goal? What's your goal? And we would get them all written down. Carmen would write down everybody's goals. And then I would say, all right, man, if we put our minds together, we could do this many recruits. We could do this much production. We're going to freaking kill the competition this month. We're going after that guy. We're going to kick his ass. We're going to kick his ass, and we're going to bury that guy over there, right? So now, again, you're talking to young girls, so maybe you'll say it differently. But you have to have some sort of rallying cry. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's funny.
To get them jacked.
I do it, but I see, as you talk, I see little areas where I lack. You know what I mean? So like with the boys and girls, I bring them all together and I speak with them. But I'm starting to realize, like you were saying, that's where I have to not just speak with them, make sure they understand the vision, make sure they understand why we just came together.
Right.
We came together to make sure everyone's on the same page, that this is the goal we're working towards.
That's it.
So yeah,
and this is where we're going, man. We could beat this team. I know we got these guys. I know we're better than them. I know we can beat them. And I know, you know why I know we can beat them? Is because your goal was to do 2 goals today.
Yeah.
And your goal was to do 2 goals today. And your goal was to do 2 goals today. Well, that's 6 goals. If we do that,
yeah,
ain't nobody's gonna beat us.
Yeah.
Because our freaking goalie is on point right now. And so it's like, it's not only just explaining or just telling them what we're gonna do, it's also making them believe that it's actually possible.
showing them their part.
Exactly, yeah, because I would go through all those numbers and I would say, man, look at it, if that guy does that and that guy does that and that girl does that and that person does that, there's no chance on earth we're gonna lose, man. We got this. Now, did we win every time? Of course not. But every time we believed we could win, and because we believed we could win, we did better than most. We shot for the stars, man. Worst case scenario, you fall short, you hit the moon, right? I mean, just keep shooting for big. You're always talking big. You're always selling the dream. This is where we're going to be, and this is how it's going to feel, right? Every once in a while, you tell the girls, you're like, or the boys or whoever you're coaching, you're like, all right, let's sit down. Let's close our eyes. Now, I know you do a prayer and stuff like that. That's awesome. But every once in a while, you say, look, all right, everybody close your eyes. Let's envision what it's going to look like. Let's envision what it's going to feel like when we're holding that #1 trophy this year, man. When we beat this team today, this is how we're going to feel. How does that feel? And make sure it's all quiet, right? Because you're visual. See, when you visualize in your mind, it is just as real as you actually doing it. If you visualize correctly, right? And if you can really paint that picture in their mind and make them feel like it's gonna happen, like feel and see it happening in their mind's eye, it's more likely that it's gonna come true.
If they can, especially.
Absolutely, but that's just the law of attraction. That's just really visualization, skills in trying to get better there.
Yeah, no, I definitely have to improve in there. I think what I've lagged on is, as I get into these moments, I'm teaching and not just inspiring. I think I need to inspire more.
That's it.
I think what I'm getting from is, if I inspire more, it seems like I would not necessarily not have to teach as much, but I think some of it would stick more, because just with the way you inspire people, you kind of remind them what they've done and, hey, you did this, and you can do this. This is the goal you set. So I think that needs to be definitely a part of my teaching style, is to make sure I inspire more, not just teach.
Right, exactly. And that's I mean, a lot of coaches, they're we all know, right, those greats, right, those great coaches that could just inspire their teams to go be great. Yeah. But the cool thing about it is like even if you look at like a John Wooden or something like that, I mean, he wasn't a loud, inspirational guy. He was a coach. He taught systems. He taught techniques. He taught how to be great at the skill of basketball. But he also had lots and lots of conversations with his guys in getting them to believe that they could be the best, they could be a better version of themselves. And even though that guy might not be a millionaire, right? I tell my guys all the time, look, I mean, I don't know if you're going to make $1 million. I don't know if you're going to be a millionaire one day. I mean, that's up to you. You'll decide that. But what I do know is in the next 1 year, you can freaking transform everything. I mean, look, I believe if you take this stuff, man, in the next year, Evan, I mean, there's no question in my mind, all right? You'll have so much, you will be light, years away from where you're at right now, because then somebody walks into your system and it's like, okay, this is a duplicatable system. And I could repeat it over because it's an actual process. I know exactly, right? I understand leadership now. I'm a leader. You get all your kids to start thinking like they're leaders every once in a while, right? Take them aside. You're like, all right, guys, we're not going to run a lap right now. You know what we're going to do? We're going to sit down and I'm going to teach you leadership skills. I'm going to teach you how to be a great leader.
Yeah.
Because I don't want just one leader on the team. I know we got the team captain and everything. I don't want just one leader on. I want us all to be leaders. I want everybody, because leadership is everything. Leaders, if more people were leaders, we'd have better teams, we'd have better, we'd have better communities, we'd have better everything.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, but I'm cheating because I wouldn't say the reason, but as my daughter gets older, I realize the more kids I affect, the better off she is.
Oh,
and
yeah.
If I have the best attitude and I'm a good coach, but there's a bad attitude and a bad coach, if he affects more than me, they might reach my daughter before, you know what I mean? So now I look at her and I'm like, man, one of these kids, Ava could be getting into coaching, or she may be in a college and say, you know what, I'm going to pick up some extra money and coach kids, and she may run into my daughter. And again, if I did everything I could to inspire her, she's going to take, or the same thing, that process will stay with her. Now it's being duplicated on the other. Yeah,
that's it. And then you paint the vision, man. And then what's going to happen is you're going to start getting more and more people want to follow you. Want to follow you.
Yeah.
Because it's always about getting the masses to follow. Because you're inspiring the masses, so that way we can get at least a good percentage of them to want to follow you, to want to emulate you, to be like you.
Yeah.
And if you have more people that want to be a part of you and be like you, that's when you know things will start popping. So, any other specific questions that you might have? I mean, I think we covered a lot of ground so far.
Right now my mind is like,
yeah. You want to get back to work. Like, I need to implement this shit. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Oh man, I'm like, they canceled the field now, and I was already ready to go to my girls, and not just especially with the girls, just go there and inspire them. Because again, no matter what I teach them, if they're not inspired, everything I just taught them meant nothing.
Absolutely.
And if I really inspire them, I don't have to, like you said, you don't have to always scream. It's a certain way. When I just posted a video. There's a little girl who comes to training, and she must be maybe 10 or 11. And her attitude, when she came out, the parents are forcing her. And I'm trying to teach her all these things, and I realize she really just likes kicking. As we do basic, easy kicking stuff, she can see herself improving. So I told the parents, we're just going to focus on that. They're like, that's cool. But seeing her happy about coming to training, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say I inspired her, but what she's doing, she can see herself getting better. So now when she comes out, she's like, hey, coach, she's giving me a high five. Hey, you got to, yesterday I didn't have to tell her to jog and stretch. I look over and she's already jogging and stretching. So, right now, I think I would love to just take this stuff, because there's so much right here. If I need to tweak a lot of the stuff I'm doing and add some of this to it. And I've been, for the last, I would say 6 months, I've been really working hard on the curriculum. But same thing, man, I'm like, the wife and the daughter are asleep. It's 1 a.m, I'm writing out the curriculum, throwing it in the trash can. And I'm trying to make it perfect, but I think I just need to sit down and start the process. Even if I have to tweak it or add to it later.
Absolutely.
Get that part set.
And what you do is you write it, and then you give it to somebody you respect that's good in soccer. Say, what do you think, man? I mean, simple, right? Let somebody else kind of edit it for you, because they can see things that you can't see. So you'll start to really, create this kind of soccer Bible, if you will, for your organization, for your business.
That's the thing, is a lot of the direction my company's going is exactly that direction. Being able to provide kids with things that they didn't have. So like my girls have the rules of possession, and just sitting here talking with you, I'm like, man, I could literally make a little piece of paper about the size of this square that can hook onto their bag that has the rules of possession.
Perfect.
If they're always able to see it, eventually there's no point that it's going to be stuck in their head. Man. And those tactics I got from, Ted Small. He's in the club. A very successful coach. And I got this stuff from him. And the funniest thing is I always try to figure out his success, and what it is these principles beat into his girl. And he says it all the time, but I just haven't been doing the right things. With the boys, it's different. With the little girls, I may have to provide a booklet that they can read for a year until they can recite it. You know what I mean? And same thing with him. His girls, if he says what are the rules of possession, they recite it. If I ask my girls, they're like, so it's just, I have to.
But check this out, man. Think about the technology we have now, where you could make a playlist of videos, and every day you could have a group list, because there's group texting available now, right? You have a group list or a group me or something like that, and every day You can text their phones. All these parents and kids, they have phones now. So you can text them the link to the YouTube video, and people are now watching you every day. You're like, all right, just make, 20 really, really good videos, like that cover kind of the basics or the fundamentals of everything you do. And then once you figure out, once you get those videos done, you're like, every day you just post them a little video. Or maybe you come up with 30 videos, one for every day. And then you have an automatic little text, goes out to your girls every day. One little video. The video is only 5 minutes. I mean, big deal. Anybody can do 5 minutes a day. Yeah. Right? You send one of those a day, and imagine how, I send out text messages to my guys all the time. I send out messages all the time. I mean, now, obviously, I have a lot of human contact too. I mean, I talk to them on the phone, talk to them in person, but it's just, it allows a little bit, man, a little taste of what you want them to learn so that they can now start, because out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, well,
if they see it, they're doing it. You know what I mean?
My boys, they're all at the age now. Everyone has a phone, and same thing. There's 2 or 3 that I talk to, and now like you said, I really need to just make sure I'm reaching out to the boys. Like you said, I have the access to do it every day now, so there's no excuse. Now the girls are a little different, but they're also to the age where now the girls are starting to have phones, and I think the girls, not all of them have phones, but I think like maybe one of the girls said, "Oh, we all have a text list like on some little, like on the computer or something." So
GroupMe or something.
yeah, I can still reach out to them. So yeah, that's kind of stuff that I need to start doing. Even with like, it's more so important with my boys because they're at that age where they're calling me and they're hey, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? Well, if I'm consistently pumping information out to them today, kind of filters out the phone calls, but it also gives them more knowledge and more info to where they don't have to search for it.
But imagine, just think about how powerful it is. Nobody does that, man.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be that guy that parents are going to talk about. They're going to be like, oh my God, Coach Evan, he sends our girls all kinds of training videos. Wow, he made all these videos for us. I mean, I have people from all over the country. They want to work with Daniel Alonzo because I'm one of the only people that has a defined process, like an actual system, and that is duplicatable, and there's a vision attached to that. And I have obviously a lot of success stories too. I have a lot of, 23 people that I've helped earn between $100,000 and $1 million a year. Yeah. So I have a lot of, people that have done well in the system. Process. Yeah, but it's because of the process. I haven't, like most of these people that are really successful, it's not what I did for them personally. It was the process that helped them because they were able to duplicate a system. Yeah. And everybody that they ever recruited in their business was able to duplicate something. I'm telling you, people are gonna be talking about you because they're gonna say, man, that guy's got a freaking killer system. You wanna work with him. Because parents like organization, man. Parents don't like, come on. I mean, the last coach we had, they were flaky. Yeah. They didn't do shit. They didn't have their schedule put together. They didn't get, what I mean? It's like, so you got to be so organized, so, just on it. And it's not easy, but what's going to happen is once you put it into a process, the hard part is just building the process out. Yeah. But once you do that, then it becomes duplicatable, and then everybody's got their job. I mean, everybody's, like if you have a couple of coaches, you're like one of the coaches, you tell him, what his job is? Every day send out a video. So you delegate eventually to other people different responsibilities because they're helping you and say, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you take care of this? You got team moms and stuff like that that will help you with various things, So anyways, I know that hopefully this is enough for you to chew on today.
I'm super excited that you took the time with me because I got so much going in my head. And I'm one of the type of guys where I'm always striving to get better. So I like just these little notes. I see so much growth in myself, and not just myself, the business, and also my kids. You know what I mean? Because ultimately that's what it's for. Kind of like what you said. I'm looking to build a process so that in the future the kids can be successful off it. Again, ultimately it's not. I don't want to be able to say, hey, I made them successful, but I want to be able to make sure that I have a process to where if 100 kids follow it, they can be successful. Exactly. Or if one kid or 1,000. Exactly. So that's ultimately the goal. So no, I appreciate your time. I would love maybe to set up another meeting. What I would do is I want to create the process and start working on it, and then maybe we can sit down and I can show it to you.
That's it, man. That's it. I would love to help you, man. Hey, take care,
you.
brother.
Thank
Take care,
you.
man.